Ever wished an AI could write an entire application for you? Well, now it can. Hi, this is Mohammed from Aman Guide. In this video, I will show you how to write Chrome extensions that generates professional invoices and receipts using VS Code extension called CLINE. Stay till the end of the video. I will show you the generated Chrome extension in action. CLINE is an autonomous coding agent right in your IDE. It can create and edit files, run commands, browse the web, and more, all with your permission. Ready to see it in action? Let's go. So the first thing we need to do is to open VS Code and install CLINE extension. So in order to do that, you have to head to the left-hand sidebar of the VS Code and press extensions icon and search for CLINE. You'll find it in the first search results. If you press on it, then you will find install here if you don't have the extension. If you do have the extension, then you will find disable and enable. In my case, I have the extension already, so I'm not going to install it again. So once you install the extension, you will find an icon on the left-hand side called CLINE. You press on it, then CLINE will open with this interface. You have this text box to write prompts to CLINE to execute whatever you want, or to command client to do whatever you want. So for example, generate a to-do list app, and it will do that magic. Also, you have here the recent tasks, which you will find all the tasks or all the prompts, the history of the prompts that you already wrote or you already commanded to CLINE to execute it. And if you would like to actually go back to it, then you can do like this. So you can go back to the history like this, and then you will see what you have already commanded the CLINE to do it. So before you start using CLINE, we have to configure something very important before you command it to do something. So basically, you have to choose the provider and the model. In order to do that, you have to head to here, and you have to choose the API provider. So the API provider is basically what provides you the API for executing the AI tasks. So for example, so we have one of the famous and one of the first providers in the world for AI, it was OpenAI. So for example, you would find OpenAI here. Or for example, Anthropic or the provider CLINE itself. So CLINE has its own models as well. It basically uses Cloud with its versions like Sonnet, Heiaku, or whatever model you would like, and they actually abstract it and it has its own subscription. But yeah, in our case here, we are going to choose Anthropic, as this provides Cloud, which is basically very, very strong when it comes to coding with AI. So it will really generate something that you can really use in your projects, which we are going to use today. For this, you have to go to Anthropic, and you have to create a new API key here from the API keys here, and you create basically a new one. So after you create it, you head back to the CLINE VS Code extension and you paste your API key here, and that's it. So make sure in order to generate something, you have to press Act here, which is the default mode, but make sure to have it. Plan is totally different. It will not execute anything, it will plan. If you have something that you would like to plan, a project or something, then the AI here will think with you how to do it. So basically chatting with the AI and how to do a system design, for example, or whatever. But yeah, our problem right now is actually using Act, because we are going to generate the professional invoices and receipts generator. So let's see how can we actually do that. So I have already prepared a prompt for that. So let's see the prompt. So basically here I'm telling CLINE to create a simple Chrome extension that helps user to generate professional invoices and receipts in one click. And here I'm giving CLINE more and accurate requirements so that CLINE can use that to generate a professional extension and some things that we can really use. So we know that when you give AI more specific prompts, then it generates a high quality outputs. So that's what I tried to do here. So I provided all this information to CLINE, and now hopefully it generates some things that we can use from the first time. But also we can actually iterate with the AI until we reach something. Watch out, because now we need to change something. We actually need to make sure that we are using the right model. So here you have a lot of models, and that also will change when you change the API provider, because OpenAI, for example, it has a lot of other models, like for example 3.5 Turbo, you have 4.0, ChatGPT 4.0. So the model depends on the API provider. So in our case right now we are using Anthropic, then the model will be Clouda, I'm gonna use Clouda 3.5, but I'm not gonna use Sonnet because Sonnet is so expensive. So if you generate something like this, then it will take around maybe $2 or $3, which is very expensive in that case. So the most cost-effective one from Anthropic is Clouda 3.5 Haiku. So make sure to choose your model here. So I have chosen it already. And then right now we are sure that everything is okay. Then we need to execute it right now. So let's see what's gonna happen. After a couple of seconds, this has been generated by CLINE. So CLINE asks me to actually run this command, which is open Chrome invoices generator. I think this will not open the extension itself, but let's see what will happen. Yeah, it's just open the directory of the extension. So in order to install the extension, let's try to see it in action. So here we have to head to Chrome browser. And then in Chrome browser, you have to press these three dots and then go to extensions, manage extensions. And here we have to load Unbacked extension. And you have to choose the Chrome invoice generator that we have already generated by CLINE extension in VS Code. When you select it, then you have the error. So yeah, that's pretty much expected, as CLINE is not going to generate something working from the first time. So you have to iterate with CLINE. So let's see how can we actually fix something like this. So from the errors we saw, it turns out that the assets are not created. So the icons in the assets folder. So let's see right now how can we make CLINE fix this error. So let's say we are going to write the icons, the assets folders not created, and it results in an error when installing extension in the browser. Okay, this will be the results. So after we have provided CLINE with the fix prompt, now it generated the icons that we want, and now it's supposed to be working. So let's try it out right now. So let's head to the browser, and as usual, we load Unbacked extension, we load Chrome invoice generator, and now it has been loaded successfully. Yeah, if we tried it, so we go to details, and then we went to the toolbar, and now, yeah, we have something. But let's try it. Product 1, here any amount, and then generate invoices. So it doesn't download anything, so it seems it had an error. So let's go back to the extensions and see what is the error is. Yeah, as we expected, we have errors here. So this is basically the error. So let's try to fix it as well. So in order to fix this error, we need to copy this error from the browser here. So you see, and then we go back to CLINE, and we try to tell CLINE what's happening. So basically, if we actually copy paste the error, it should fix it. So let's try it out. So we paste the error here, and then we see what will happen. So now CLINE will try to fix it. So finally, I managed to generate the Chrome extension using CLINE. So basically, it was really a nice results, and it was really something that you can use. But before we get into the results and see what we actually generated with CLINE, so I would like to mention something that I used Clouda Sonnet 3.5 instead of Haiku, because 3.5 is more smarter. It's more expensive, but it's more smarter, and it generates results in 1 or 2 iterations. But Clouda Haiku is not going to generate something in 1 or 2 iterations. It needs more iterations to actually generate something that you want. Yeah, of course, it's cost effective, less smarter, but it's a good model, but it needs more iteration to achieve something that you really want at the end. So it means that you will iterate with CLINE until you reach something, which might increase the cost, might increase your efforts as well. But at the end, you will get something with Haiku, but it will get more time and more efforts. But in order to actually achieve this, so I found it more easier to actually use Sonnet. So yes, I paid more money here because it's not cost effective. It's a more expensive model than Haiku. But at the end, I achieved what I wanted exactly. So let's see the results and what we actually have generated here. So now let's see what CLINE has generated. So CLINE generated a lot of files here, which is the source code of your Chrome extension. So let's try to install it in the browser and see what will happen. So let's head back to the browser. And as usual, we load the Unbacked extension, so the invoice generator that we have generated already. So now it's installed. So let's go and try it. Go to details, then the toolbar in order to be able to test it. And now it's been opened here. So let's write the client name, and here the client email. So the invoice number is auto-generated here. And then we write, for example, any product here. So like, for example, wireless keyboard. And amount, for example, so $100. And then we have 2% taxes. And then the date, which will be auto-filled here. Choose a logo. Let's say we choose the logo of our channel. And then we generate invoice here. Then as you see, the invoice has been generated and downloaded with the invoice number. So we didn't write any code. This has been generated completely with CLINE. So let's try this, see what is the content of it. So as you see right now, this is the logo, and this is the invoice. This is the invoice number, date, the client name that I entered, all the inputs that I entered is here. And this is something you can actually deliver or give to your clients here. Or it can help you actually to help your clients if you are a developer or something. Then you can use this to actually generate an invoice for your clients, or generate an invoice system for your client as well. So it has a lot of advantages here. So you can leverage client to whatever you want. And that's it. As you can see, the quality of the generated code depends on the model you are using and how clear and specific your requirements are. The best part, you didn't really write any single line of code, yet you have got a fully functional Chrome extension. That's it for today. If you found this helpful, like, share, subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.